Moving on
Okay.
to Sleeper Spotlight.
Sleeper Spotlight.
If you're not familiar with this segment, we introduce a drummer to Adam, and we get his thoughts, impressions, and any constructive criticism, if there is any. And constructive criticism, if there is any.
Everybody sucks.
And I suck at talking, so it's fine.
Yeah.
If you want to feature me on your podcast and talk shit about me, go ahead. All right, so first up is Flavio Ganuzio.
Okay.
So, looks like dude surrounded by plywood.
Surrounded by plywood. Gotcha.
Yep.
Flavio, what you got? Little Coleman. With the splash close on the left foot. And modulating. Ooh. Right. Very good, man. Very clean. Awesome, man. Very cool. You know what I love about this playing is that it is a weird mix between what I would describe as like classic drumming, and that some of those ideas are pretty, I guess, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but like they're old ideas. Like they're ideas that you can hear in other people's playing on different albums over a long period of time, like classic, more traditional sort of ideas, mixed with very modern sort of like progressive chops in a weird way. It's a cool hybrid of those two. Like I could see him slightly amending his playing and fitting in really well in like a classic rock cover band, or I don't want to say classic rock necessarily, but like playing music that appeals to a wide variety of people, like maybe a studio setting where you just need play the predictable part that's supposed to be here. I could see him being that way. And then also, if you took all of those parameters away and said just like shred or just like chop out, it seems like he could do that as well. So I see a really cool blend between those two. Floor tom sounds sick. I really like those ideas. And also, I'm looking on the wall, Dom Familiaro. Is that like a certificate from a camp or something that he did?
Could be.
Maybe. Dom is so sick. He's one of the most like, I don't want to call him underrated. I'll say he's underrated to the younger generation of drummers. There's a lot of young players who don't know how good of an educator and a player Dom Familiaro is. So if you don't know who Dom is, absolutely look him up. He is such a cool guy. I've never met him, but he's like high on my list of people I'd want to meet and hang out with. And I would imagine that Flavio here has done a camp or something like that with him. But yeah, that was sick. That was absolutely sick, man. Do we have another clip from him?
Yeah, we've got another one.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see the same walls here. Got the OSB on the walls. Second one from Flavio. Yeah, Weckel, it makes sense. That's a good example of that. Modern and classic. Very good, man. Very, very clean, intentional playing, absolutely. I can hear some Weckel in there. I mean, obviously he's playing a Weckel track, but yeah, Weckel is probably a good example of like playing what is supposed to be played in the spot, like kind of in a weird way predictable, like, oh, that was the right fill, that was the right choice for that moment. But then also like still managing to surprise you with some of the ideas. I see a lot of that in his playing, and killer technique. He feels very comfortable, right? Which is that's an earned state. You got to play for a long time to make other people convinced of how comfortable you are without trying to do it. And I see a high level of comfort here where he's not not straining to play any of these ideas. They're sunk in very deep into his musical identity, and that's really obvious. So absolutely killer player, man. Go follow Flavio if you want a young shredder. I say young. He seems young.
Yeah, I don't know how young.
Yeah,
or how
very
old.
very good, man. Very good. That was an awesome one.
Super good. All right, next up is Rockford, or full name Artem Makhmadov.
Okay, Artem. Let's do this one here from Artem. What you got? Kid sounds good. Thick kick. Did it cut? Kid's dialed, man. Sounds great. Man, that kit sounds so good. Really, really awesome kit sound. I like how fat everything is. There's like a thickness to the entire mix for sure. And cool fill too. I feel like I have one, what's it called? Oh God, it's like 8 years ago or something. A fill that I taught a lesson on YouTube that was like really, really similar to that. Cool little linear chop idea for sure. Really, really clean playing. I also like had some hi-hat embellishments in the groove that were like very simple, but like very cool sounding. Like a little, not triplet, but like a little triple thing that he put in on the hi-hats there. Really, really cool, man. Clean playing. And again, I love this kit sound. I love how like meaty the whole thing is, but very, very clean. Let's go to the next one here. What we got? Super clean, man. Very articulate. Slow it down. Man, those 15-inch Meinl dual hats, man, you hear those things a mile away. JP Bouvet plays those, a few others, real dry, open sounding hats. Very, very cool, man. It's grooves like this one where there's a little bit of syncopation in the snare hits happening so that the backbeats aren't all on 2 and 4. There's a dynamic thing happening with the right hand eighth notes where they're not all steady. It's and then there's 30-second note diddles, right? And so we embellish them in different ways, sometimes on the hat, sometimes on the snare, sometimes mixed between the two. Grooves like that with so many different elements and textures inside of the groove, they can be very telling, where there's so many things that could go wrong, so many things that you have to do correctly for this to be pulled off, that I like seeing somebody play a groove like that, because it is a demonstration of like 5 different skill sets at once, right? There's a certain amount of not true independence, but like dynamic independence, where I can hear that he is consciously amending the volume of the hi-hats, like in the eighth notes. I can hear, or rather I can tell, that he's got a good idea of like swing versus straight, because he's sort of manipulating the feel of the groove. I can tell that he's done some sort of permutation work, because he's really comfortable putting the snare not where it's supposed to go, but a little bit over here, right? Like that funk syncopation. I can tell that he has done practice pad work and worked on technique, because all of the 30-second notes, all of those are super dialed in and articulate, right? And so it's cool, because this groove is a good example of like, I don't know, just a playing style that demonstrates many different skill sets at once. So I can tell that this is a really well-rounded player just from that simple of a groove. So really, really cool, man. Awesome player. I'd love to hear in another clip. I know we can only play so many clips. We're not going to play 100 clips from him. But I would love to hear more exploratory playing, right? I would love to hear something where it's like, it's not a groove that you've rehearsed 1,000 times, and it's not something that you and I both know that you can clearly play. I would love to hear something where there's a little bit more reach in the playing, to hear what are some of the ideas that are sort of on the edge of your playing. I'd like to hear that, just to sort of hear a little bit more of your own voice, a little bit more of your own character. But Like I said, this groove shows off a whole bunch of skills at once. Really cool, man. Really clean playing. And the backward sticks, too. So a little bit of a rebound challenge you got going on there. But yeah, awesome player, awesome kit. That was cool, man.
Cool. All right, that'll close that Sleeper Spotlight.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Orlando Drummer Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course you did. It was an absolutely fantastic clip. But if you're looking for more content like this, longer formats, in-depth drum lessons, interviews with pros, detailed lesson packs, extensive audio and video masterclasses, I have all of this waiting for you at the link in the description. You can start a free 7-day trial to orlandodrummer.com and see if it's for you. I would love to have you on board.